Hi, this is Kim Hallen with Unbridled, and this is episode 3 of the herd integration of Relicario. They're going to be fast friends, I think. Very calm. They're mirroring each other a lot, as you can see here. Doing a lot of bonding, and I'm just going to let them have time this morning. It was a little stressful with the whole herd this morning, so I've got my original herd, Shogi, Marcus, and Puck, and the other pasture grazing, and gonna let these two boys just have some good, calm bonding time. I had a feeling these two were going to become close friends quickly. Not only they're both newer and both new to the herd, so they're not quite as established as the others. But the boys, there's not the hormones. Marcus doesn't get as worked up as Shoki does about the girls paying attention to another boy, and also Rayleigh actually had his buddy Mito at his old home was a gray also. I don't know how much that has anything to do with things, colors, but it's interesting that these two have bonded so quickly. I think there's lots of reasons for it, but glad to see it. And it's nice for Marcus to have a buddy and not have to feel like the outsider in the herd so much. So now I'm just letting Tempo come out alone with Rayleigh, and Marcus is out there. Rayleigh and Marcus have been out together all morning and doing great. And I just took the halter off Tempo, and she is being very subtle. She's staying here with me and grazing, kind of letting Rayleigh know maybe that she's not a threat, or just taking her own time to get her thoughts together. Now she's heading toward Rayleigh. You can see the tails raised, so we got the hormones going, which means this could get interesting. So Rayleigh's like, I'm gonna go. Tempo's like, let's see. So remember that Rayleigh is gated, which is why his pace looks different. But you can see that Marcus does not have the same reaction that Shoki did, of feeling like he needs to intervene. He's going to let Rayleigh and Tempo sort of work it out. But did you see Tempo went toward him and then put her head down to graze? It's a calming signal. Hey, Marcus. And then Rayleigh went to grazing also. You see that Shoki and Puck are over there watching everything, and Tempo goes to them where she feels safer. It's a much different dynamic when it's not the whole herd that can kind of, put a lot of energy on Rayleigh at once. This is what I was hoping. It would be a lot calmer. What I'll do is Rayleigh and Marcus have already demonstrated that they are just fine together. No hostility at all. They've been out together all morning and spent a lot of time grazing just side by side. They're apart now, and this is going to give Tempo a chance to just spend some calm time with Rayleigh. And then after a little bit, I'll take Tempo out and let Puck come over and have some alone time. That way someone is always with Shoki, and he won't get so distressed about losing control of things. He got big for his britches this morning, as you saw on the video, so he's a little bit sore. He's gimpy anyway at 30, and that was really my biggest worry through all of this, is that he will try to overdo it, because in his mind he's still 9-year-old in his prime, and his body doesn't always can't handle that anymore. So Rayleigh is wanting to go, I think, closer to Marcus maybe, but taking a wide berth, staying kind of on the opposite side of the pasture from Tempo. Those are some dogs across the street, if you can hear that. But generally speaking, this is all very calm. I just wanted to document it in case anything really interesting happened. But what's wonderful is when it can be calm like this, and they can give each other calming signals and just know that everything is okay. And this is how they'll get to know each other in a more peaceful way. Puck is also across the way. Even though there's a fence dividing them, she's grazing too. Shoki is remaining watchful because one of his herd members that he's very bonded with. It's easy to say it's because it's one of his mares. I don't know that that's the case so much as he helped raise Tempo, and they've been together since she was born, so he is very attached to her in kind of an uncle or fatherly way, even though they're not really related. But just the bonds are very tight, and that is, the three of them are a very tight-knit little herd. So I don't know that it's accurate, though it can be tempting to say that it is, about him wanting to protect his mares or keep his mares with him. But it's really more about the family unit, the tight-knit herd that has been together for so long, I think, more than anything. And he could possibly act the same way even if Tempo were a boy. And Reli has just been coming and getting kind of closer to Marcus, who's just stayed really calm through the whole thing. A great stabilizing and neutral energy here. And Reli finds that very comforting because he's been with him all day. And again, on her own, Tempo is actually remaining really calm and sort of surprisingly so. Last time we introduced a new boy to the herd, she was quite a handful for several weeks, and that may still happen, but for today, things are pretty calm. So we just had a little action where Marcus and Reli were drinking out of this temporary bucket of water I put here, and Tempo decided she needed to. So here she's having a conversation, obviously, with Reli. Their first time alone together. Just making sure, really, she's just making sure that if she needs to ask him to leave her herd, which Marcus is part of her herd, that he will do that, and he won't fight her for that. So that's really all that is just a conversation to make sure she feels like she can be in control of the dynamics. Oh, goodness. Hey! Sorry about that. Those were two unfamiliar dogs that just showed up in my yard and were chasing Bartholomew. And I didn't know whether they were friendly or not, so I had to take care of that real quick. Everything was just fine. Okay, so I just took Tempo out. She's calling. And I put Puck in with Marcus and Reli, just to see how this would go. And it's so interesting when the mares are not together. They work hard on staying calm. Tempo, in fact, kind of went out into the other pasture and really didn't pay much attention to Marcus and Reli at all. The dynamics get dicey when both of the girls are together. It's so interesting. They're much more confident when they're together, and they're very competitive with each other about, I guess, attention from the new horse. And then that is what gets Shoki riled up, is when both of the girls start vying for attention or access to Reli, and then that triggers emotions in him. And again, I want to stress that these are dynamics in a domestic herd setting. In the wild, a new horse would be able to leave and go much further away from the core herd than Reli is able to do here, because there's fencing and this is a confined space. So the dynamics are really unnatural, and when horses become what looks to be aggressive, or they're feeling like they really need to defend their personal space, or defend access to their herd mates, it's because whoever the new horse is cannot get far enough away to take that pressure off. And so domestic settings are really unnatural in that way. And I hate that horses get a bad rap, or they're called dominant and submissive, or bullies, that kind of thing. And it's not really about a herd dominance order or pecking order or hierarchy at all. Those things really only exist in the domestic setting, and they are related to access to limited resources, and not about dominance and submission. Although once horses learn how to behave that way in relationship to limited resources, they will sometimes transfer that behavior into other types of scenarios. So it is a learned behavior, and you see it much more in domestic horses than you do in wild horses. So at any rate, I just wanted to show you that overall things are really calm here. Marcus is inside that paddock, but the gate's open. He could come out if he wanted to. Puck has just kind of slowly been grazing her way, closer to Reli, and he's over there by that tree. And he's just kind of reading her, and as she moves a little closer, he sometimes takes a step further away. He's just keeping, they've established what their comfort space distance is between one another, and it's his job to keep that space to an extent that it won't trigger Puck. That's kind of the conversation that they're having, and as they get to know each other, that space might become smaller, or sometimes it will be, and other times it won't be, just like with any horses on any given day. So that's where we are. In this little clip, Puck had actually made a move to get close to Reli, and Reli got a little nervous, and then Marcus actually got a little bit possessive. So here Puck is just kind of herding Reli around a little bit, and then I'll let you watch what happens. Is she playing with your friend, Marcus? Did she hijack your friend? So what's happening here is Marcus and Reli were trying to play together, gelding games, and Puck got in the middle and started breaking it up, and now Marcus is getting stressed out. That's what he does. He starts to roll when he gets stressed out. He would like to keep Puck away from Reli, but he doesn't have the confidence to do that. So now Puck has stopped. So maybe everything will calm down and the boys can go back to playing. So this is Marcus showing his signs of when he gets stressed out about not being in control of what's happening with the herd dynamics. He will often start to paw and roll. It's a stress behavior for him. So if this starts to get too stressful for him, I'll take Puck back out again for now. But I did want them to all have a chance to start, learning how to work through their dynamics together. Things seem to have calmed down for now. So this is wonderful to see. Marcus has not been confident enough to really have a play buddy. He and Shoki play a little bit, but Marcus has always been pretty intimidated by him. Boys can be kind of shy like that as soon as I put the video camera on. Hey, bud. How you doing? There's little marks on his neck. That's from them sparring and playing. Here he comes. It's really very nice to see Marcus this confident. He's actually... Hi. Hi, bud. You have a new playmate? Is that fun? You like Reli? So this is completely play behavior. This is not fighting or dominance. This is what boy horses like to do. And it's remnant of stallion bachelor behavior, where they will play like this, form very strong friendships. And interestingly, the play is not about fighting. It's about knowing who would win if they actually ever had to have a real fight. And so they avoid fighting with anyone, picking a real fight with anyone that they could not win against. So this is just all about sizing each other up, but it's a very playful activity. This is not fighting or dominance behavior. And as I said, Marcus has not been confident enough to play like this with anyone in my herd, so it's really kind of beautiful to see. He's loving it. Rarely see him get this animated, but they have really become quick buddies, and that's really fun for me to see. And maybe this will help Marcus kind of come out of his shell a little bit more, get a little more confident generally, now that he has someone he can play with who he's not afraid of. The littlest horse and the biggest horse making a quick friendship. Let's see if Marcus would let Reli just have that drink or drink with him. So they still are having real conversations about personal space and boundaries. And you see, as soon as Reli does something that kind of says, maybe you're out of line, Marcus got a little nervous there. He might start pawing and rolling. So Marcus takes things pretty personally. Yeah, do you hurt your feelings? He's got to show you where the boundaries are, bud. You can play, but you got to be respectful. So these are things that Marcus never learned because he didn't grow up in a herd, that it's just normal to play. And then when one horse gets a little rougher than the other likes, they let them know, and that's the end of the game. And so Marcus is just learning this, and it's hard for him to not take that no personally, but I hope that that's something Reli can teach him in a way that is not too intimidating for Marcus and doesn't cause Marcus to lose his confidence. It'll be interesting to see how their friendship plays out. Bye for now. I'm just seeing if the boys, Shoki and Reli, can make peace with each other after their rather extreme chasing around this morning. Shoki's a little sore from that, so I don't want this to get too exciting. If it does, I'll separate them. But I'm hoping they can make friends now that the mares are not here with them. Or at least make a peace or truce. Seems like it might be going okay, but it's hard to know. Reli is trying hard to be polite. They're just kind of leaning on each other face to face here. I don't want to interrupt what they're doing. I'm going to try to get a little bit closer. They're lipping each other. I'm also going to watch to make sure Shoki doesn't try to grab Reli's halter. Typically I don't like to leave halters on horses, but I just wanted to be able to be sure that if I needed to get a lead rope on Reli quickly for any reason in these first couple days, that I could do that. And I know he's a little bit head shy about the halter being put on, so probably tomorrow I will take it off and we'll do some practicing with the halter. But just as a precaution, I felt like the risks were greater of not having the halter on in case I needed to get him, out of a situation pretty quickly, versus the chances of him getting caught on something. This is actually pretty sweet. They're really just feeling each other out here. I feel like it could still explode a little bit a few more times. Probably hear one or the other of them squeal or scream, but it's definitely friendly. This is not aggressive at all. Not like it was this morning when Shoki felt like he was needing to keep the mares away from Reli, and that caused him to get a little over emotional. But with the mares not here, and he's bonded with Marcus, but not nearly as protective of Marcus as he is of his other two herd mates that he's been with for a long time, and especially Tempo, who he has known since she was a baby. So this is all just friendly. Friendly, but they're sizing each other up. The squealing is a little bit about that, but this is play, certainly, and it's really awesome to see. Reli has really good social skills with other geldings. He's bonded really quickly with Marcus, and it's not easy to put Shoki at ease, and Shoki doesn't play with very many other horses, geldings or mares, so the fact that he's even entertaining and letting Reli play with him is pretty impressive in terms of Rayleigh's social skills and herd dynamics. You can see he's even nibbling on Shoki's leg now. So this makes me very happy. It's really important for geldings to have relationships with other geldings. They play and bond in a way that mares don't. And for a long time, Shoki was the only gelding in my herd of 3. And over the past 2 years, he and Marcus have started to play a little bit, but Marcus is not very confident with Shoki at all. So Shoki hasn't really had a true playmate. And I feel like Rayleigh's maybe going to be able to fill that role for both Marcus and Shoki, which would be pretty awesome. It makes me happy for all of them. And I know that Reli had a really close, playful relationship with a gelding where he lived before, so it's, I'm sure, really important for him to be able to develop similar friendships. Never the same, obviously, but to develop friendships with the new boys here. So this is all part of them just getting to know each other. They smell all the body parts. But it's really, they're doing it in quite a friendly way. So I'll let this go for now, but I'm real happy with the way Reli is developing relationships with both of the boys, especially.